Prior to joining WAAW Foundation, I have I've come across so many HRs, and I've had at least an understanding of how to create resume, or how to make yourself presentable to get the job that you need, or rather make a first impression to your employer. Because without your resume, you know you're not going to get into the door, because people would actually want to see you, see what you can do first on paper, and then before they give you an actual job to do. So it's just about presenting yourself properly to an employer. And I've been privileged to actually hear from people, and I'm here to give back to others, and help you as you go into the world looking for a job, or yeah, what may. So today's resume is your ticket to an interview. So I wanted this to be more hands-on, like I'm going to do a practical resume, and not just run through the slide, but also create a practical resume. So um I'm going to take this for about 30 minutes or so, and then we use 30 minutes for practical parts to create a resume. And don't forget, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat box and I will respond to you. If you need to speak and you can't type in the chat box, just let me know by saying you want to speak or raising your hand, and I will mute you and you can speak. Yes. So for today's agenda, we're going to know what a resume is, different types of resume, resume format and content, and sending a thank you letter to your employer. And then also, if time permits us to have to look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very similar. It's just like having your resume, but like instead of going for a function and telling people about yourself, and trying to sell yourself to employers, LinkedIn does that for you, and you have a wider scope. So that's just what LinkedIn is. So you never get a second chance to create a first impression. Your resume is your first impression to an employer. Is what they see first, and they say, "Oh, I'd like to know this person better. I'd like to see what this person has, or what this person can offer." And of course, that's when they call you for an interview. So, what is a resume? A resume is a short account, 1 to 3 pages of your expectations, of your qualifications, your achievements. Most resumes only get 20 seconds scan, and that's it. So you just go through. I've been privileged to look at some resumes, and the person that my mind goes, okay, where's this person located? Where's the person staying? Then I look at what's your experience, and I just read through. If your experience is not speaking to me concerning the job that is open, I'll just keep it one side, or let me just, if I want to be harsh, I will trash it, but I just keep it one corner. And yeah, so the goal is to capture the reader's interest. You want to capture your employer's interest. I'm like, see, I'm the right candidate. Pick me. You know. So that's the whole aim of a resume. And it, yes, of course, I said it must be enough to grab the attention of the prospective employer. That's your first impression. So, what employers want to know when they look at your resume, what do they want to know? They want to know what you can do for them. They want to know how you can improve their operation. You should be an asset, not a liability. Even if you learn on the job, I've heard someone saying, they should just employ me for the role, and when I get there, I can learn. Not a government organization, they will not take you for training. You have to at least know a little bit, and then come into the organization and also add to the organization, improve yourself to improve the organization, and they can also train you if need be. But you cannot know if you don't know anything about it, you can't be employed. Just like you say you want to go and work in the hospital, or you want to become a doctor, but you didn't go to school to study medicine. That's impossible. No matter how you say, okay, I learned medicine. No, you cannot just learn it. You have to go through the school, or to perfect the art. So that's the same thing. They want to know if you can improve their operation. They also want to know, can you make me money? You must not be a liability, as I said. You must be able to make money as it goes. Sorry, you must be able to make money as it goes, and you can also save them time as you're making money. Save them time. If you can't save, not every okay. So for a non-profit, You can save money for a nonprofit. There are some free things that nonprofit gets. So can you save money for a nonprofit? Can you also save time instead of taking the longer route to, do things? Can you save time or cut time down? Maybe you might also save money by finding a shorter way that is more effective. And can you keep the clients or the customers happy? And yeah, that's it. So your resume must not only show the skills you have, but it must demonstrate your success. So what are you bringing to the table? I've heard that question a lot of time. What are you bringing to the table? So you must be able to demonstrate success. Those are the things I have done in my previous role. Even if you've not worked before and you're applying for an entry position, your skills should show success, and that you can give back to the organization and not just deduct from it. So different types of resume. We have five major different types of resume. We have chronological, functional, combination, targeted, and mini resume. So, what is a chronological resume? That's the first kind of resume. It's very, very, very common. It starts with your most recent activities. Most people just, don't jumble your resume, and you maybe you worked in 2016 and your next job is in 2020, and your next one is in 2013. You now put 2013, 2020, 2016. No, it must follow from the most recent to the least recent. So, and then you work your way back from them. So it makes your career path logical, and it also makes it readable. At least employers are able to know that, okay, in 2020, this particular month, you were here. And then prior to joining the organization, you also worked in this organization. So they're able to follow a logical path, and it's readable. The next one is a functional resume. This focuses heavily on what you did. So it's more like it's not focused on where you worked or when, but more like the activities in that organization, the experience you've gained from carrying out different kinds of projects in that organization. So as an input, functional. Then combinational resume is a hybrid of functional and chronological. It's both of them. This is like showcasing your skills combined with your most recent work experience. So it outlines the skills you possess and then relates them to the past employment. And targeted resume. This is one of my most interesting resumes, because I don't believe in sending. I don't believe that one each person should have one resume. If I want to check my drive, I think I have like over 15 resumes. Over 15 resumes. I don't have one resume for. I have different kinds of resumes for different kinds of job positions. So this is like it's tailoring your resume for each potential employer job role. You may see a job role that says I'm going to use my position admin, and you're going to see another one says maybe um, operations, but more like it has more of admin duties. You understand? So you need to tailor that job. Probably your previous place of work, you were jack of all trade. So you were in this department, in that department, and you have a knowledge of that thing. You don't tell them you were admin, but you were doing a digital marketing position. No, you call that your position a digital marketing position and showcase your skills that you have in that area. So that makes you to stand out. So it's like a two-in-one package. You both have admin and you both have a digital marketing experience. Then the mini resume is what most employers you hear they say, send me a one-page resume. That's just it. A one-page resume is just a mini resume, just a short synopsis of your work experience or your work history. It's more in form of a bio, and it's a supplemental information. You don't have much information, just where you worked, um, the dates to the day you started and the day you ended, you finished, and yeah, that's about it. Then content and structure. So you use for content and structure. Sorry, let me just go back. Yes. So your content and structure for your resume. Your resume must follow a particular pattern. It must have a font size of 10 to 12 points. It must be bold for your name and your position. The dates must be month and year, not just year, but the month you started and the year you started, to the month you ended and the month you finished. Then your paper color must be white. Don't use blue, don't use black, don't use orange, don't use yellow. Please use a white paper color. And then your spacing must be 1 to 2 lines spacing. And then you use numbers or percentages. So don't be writing 20 like in 20 TW, whatever. No, just put it 20 and then you put the percent. And you avoid personal pronouns like I or me. Your experience should show action. I put it there. So start your statements with action verbs. Let it show action. Don't say I managed. No, say managed. Show that you were in control of that person of that job duty by showing an action presented, demonstrated, taught, directed, led. You understand? And then use the short bullet statement. Don't use all those cross, just use the simple one. Be consistent in structure, make it easy for readers to skim through your resume quickly without confusion. If it's too muddled up, trust me, nobody will want to read it. It will be so confusing. So, your resume format. So, we're going to start with the contact information, the career summary, the skills, work experience, and education. As we go, I will be explaining it bit by bit. Don't forget, if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat box and I'll respond to that. Thank you. Also, for no, now starting with your contact information. So, your contact information is the most important part of your resume. Without it, employers cannot contact you. They don't even know where you are. So, they don't know your name, they don't know your address, they don't know your phone number, your email, or if you want your portfolio too. So, you need to put your name at least so that they can be able to identify your resume and your phone number and your email so that they can contact you and where you are located. Now, one thing you need to know about your address. Don't apply for a job in Lagos when you are residing in Abuja. Don't apply for a job in Abuja when you are residing in Gombe. When your address is saying Gombe. If you are applying for a job in Lagos, let your address here, if you can see my cursor, let it show address. When you're applying for a job, wherever the location is, make sure you put that location. It also it helps to cut down bias because when employers see that your location is somewhere else, they won't even bother. They're wondering, okay, so you want to relocate for how much? you know, they better take someone that's already stayed in that state that is familiar with the environment. So the things not to add in your resume. Why you don't add these things in your resume is because it creates bias. Except you're applying for a government job or or your employer asked you to. So there is actually no need for you to put those things. The things you don't put are your date of birth. You don't put your local government. You don't put your religion. You don't put your gender. You don't put your state of origin, your nationality, or your marital status. These are the things you don't add in your resume except when asked by your employer to put those informations. If you are not asked, please don't put it. It actually limits your chances of getting a job. Sometimes employers may not state whether they want a male or a female, but they know what they want. And then automatically once you put that gender, it triggers, oh, I don't want a male. Okay, they just throw it one side. Even if you're good, they won't even go beyond your name and your gender. So you don't put that part in your resume. Okay. Then your career summary. This is the most interesting part of your resume. It's like going for an interview if you've gone for one, and they asked you, tell me a bit about yourself. Tell me about yourself. This is just it. So you need to sell yourself to your employer in 3 to 5 lines. That's what you need to do. You need to highlight your experience, your qualification that match the job you're applying for. Don't tell them that you are good in bolt and nail and hammer, or you know good in furniture making when you're applying for an engineering job, like a chemical engineering job. Don't even do that. So you need to tailor your experience and your qualification to match the job you are applying for. And this is the main reason why you should consider, and the main reason why they should consider you for the position. So you should also highlight your skills. Your skills are directly relevant to the job you're seeking for. So if you're not cut out for the job, don't even bother applying. So this is where you sell yourself. You use your strengths and your accomplishments to highlight the skills. So by the side, I give an example of a maintenance and mechanic. He said, analytically driven maintenance mechanic with 5 years of experience focusing on the intricacies of equipment and instrumentation, highly adaptable and dedicated to producing error-free results, safe working condition, and quality service. Now you can see that his skills are that he can produce error-free results. He can also make a working condition safe, which is a very important thing for a mechanic maintenance person, and he also delivers quality service. He's already highlighting his skills, his accomplishments, who he is, and he has 5 years of experience. This tells you everything you need to know about him before you now dive into his experience or where he worked or whatever. So, your work experience, very, very interesting part. Yes, your work experience. You start with your most current, as I said before, your most current a recent job, and then you work your way down. If you're looking at the examples by the right hand side of your screen, you'll see. So the person worked 2016, and then below the person worked from September 2012 to December 2016. So you start with your most recent, and then work down there. At least have 4 bullets. 4 bullet, it depends. Don't make it 8, 10. No, just 4 bullets for each job is ideal. Then also describe your quantifiable achievements and not just duties and job responsibilities. So if you can see, I just copied a little bit. He said you can see collaborated with a team, drafted over 3 ebooks. You can analyze the data. Those are action words that show that this person did something. Served 50 customers, consistently upsold, trained, managed. Those are action words that tell you that, okay, this person is qualified for this job. That I actually did this, and I'm willing to also replicate that in your organization. Then, of course, make it actionable, as I just said. Then include dates and the role of employment. Include your date, include your role, include the organization that you worked in. So you can see this person worked in Umbrella Corp and the date, and then the person's position, marketing intern. So please, for Nigerians, I see a lot of Nigerians, even people put NYSC or even put industrial training. No, industrial training is not a job position. You were actually doing something in that department. What was your job position? What is the name? So don't put industrial training. No, that's limiting yourself. You worked there. You did something there. Show them that you were not just wasting your time as an intern or as a youth corper. No. Show them that you were actually working in that organization. So for your education, you're going to list your diploma degrees or your certificates, any certificate that is beyond diploma. You also put the date of completion. Don't list any education that is below diploma. That is, don't list your secondary school, don't list your WAAC, your primary. Nobody needs to know that. Before you actually started your diploma or your BSc, you had to do a secondary school, primary, and WAAC. Everybody knows that. So please, it's not necessary in your resume, except when asked. These are the things that you don't put except when asked um, by your employer. This is mostly asked by government when you're applying for a government job. So your reference, very yes, most people put their reference. References are no more needed in a resume, except yes, except when asked. Now every clause there is except when asked by your employer. So you always prepare a separate page. When going for an interview, it's just good to take it along with you. Don't nobody asks for it these days. Then do not include it on your resume. Do not include reference available upon request. Just leave it. There is nothing like reference on a resume. And you prepare at least 3 references if requested. 3 references, usually 2 professional and 1 personal, or as the case may be, and you go with it to your interview. just in case. Yeah, add it to your resume only when requested to. And so after your interview, remember, employers, you met someone, you're trying to create a good impression. You're trying to create an impression that says, okay, I'm the candidate. I'm also responsible. I also respond to emails. I can communicate. I have good communication skills. So send them a thank you email or a phone call or an SMS. However, whatever means they use to reach out to you. So just, email. I mostly prefer email. So just send them an email saying thank you for meeting with me today, and I appreciate the time you took to get to know me more. I look forward to a positive response from you. So that's just enough. It tells the employer that, okay, I'm grateful for your time, and I'm grateful for this for taking the time to know me more, and that sends a message to the employer. So just something to add um to your job hunting skills or resume. Always send an email that says thank you for taking the time to interview me. Now, the things to note um when sending your resume, please, all resumes should be in PDF. Don't send your resume in an Word document. Why? I've come across this question so many times. People ask me why. Yeah. So there are different versions of Word documents. I can even be opening your Word document with the Google Docs, and it's going to scatter the setup. So don't even do that, because it will not even look presentable. So PDF has a way of keeping your documents together. So you send your resume as a PDF, except when requested to send it in Word documents. But if you are not told to, send your resume as a PDF. Also use the right email subject. I see some jobs that tell you use this subject as um, use this subject as the email subject when applying. Please use it. In case you're not giving that instruction, remember to just put the name of the job you're applying for. Let's say you're applying for an operations manager, application for the post of an operation manager, as the subject of your email. Also, when sending your email, you write a little note in your email. Dear hiring manager, um, below is my resume for the job position as advertised. I look forward to hearing from you. A simple note that shows, okay, yeah, it's not just a blank thing I'm sending to you, and then you send it off to your employer. Don't forget to add your cover letter if requested by your employer. So before we jump into LinkedIn, let's just do a practical aspect of, yeah, of a resume. I would like to do that. It's just one of the things I decided to add. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to be changing between two or more screens. Okay. Okay, I'm sure everyone can see my screen. Before I start, is there any question? Okay. If there's any question, please, you can just raise up your hand and okay. So I'm just going to stand. I'm going to take someone's name. So this is a resume sample I created. I can share the link with you on the chat box. I'm just going to do that now in the chat box. Where's the chat box? So you can view this. I'm going to leave this for everyone so that when you're creating your resume, you can always go in there and look at the sample and know if you're doing the right thing. So the first thing, as I said, is that you want to create Okay, so there's a message from Goodness SNA. It said, what about first time resumes? How do we go about when we don't have an experience or even OND? Yes. So there's always an opportunity for people with no experience, and that's entry level positions. That's entry level position. So you have no experience. So what you need to do is you need to highlight your skills. You need to highlight the skills that you have because you do not have any experience. So while you were in school, what were the skills you picked up? Some of you have gone for training. You've gone for web development training. You've been privileged to join because most of you are fellows. You've been able to join Work Foundations training. So highlight those skills. Okay, I can design a website. I'm good with HTML. I'm good with CSS. I'm good with JavaScript. I'm good with digital marketing. Yes, just highlight your skills after your career summary. That's the next thing that should go. And then, of course, in an entry level position, you would get it definitely. It's just a one pager resume. I hope that answers your question, SNA. Okay, so I'm just going to take someone's name here and then we're going to start creating a resume. Okay, because SNA asked the question, I'm just going to take her name. Goodness SNA. So the first thing you need to start with is your name when creating a resume. SNA. So I like to do this all in bold and I like to increase the font. Sorry, I like to write also in Times New Roman. Or let me use Calibri. So SNA Goodness. That's your name. And the next thing you need to do is your address. Your address is okay. Just going to use Abuja, Nigeria. Please, this should be smaller than your name. This size should be smaller than your name. So I'm just going to go back to 14. The next thing you need to do is your email address. So I'm just going to say sna@gmail.com. And after that, you need to, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Let me see. Yes, your phone number. You need to include your phone number immediately after your this is going to put, please include the country code just to be on the safe side. You don't know where your resume may land. You want them to be able to contact you. So it's 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so this is your heading. If you have your professional any portfolio, you can add a LinkedIn. So I'm just going to put LinkedIn here, just in case anyone has. You can always add your LinkedIn URL, and it's going to take you directly to. So the next thing that you need to do is to start creating your header, so which is called your career summary. One thing you need to always remember is that Google is your best friend. Anything you don't know, you can Google it. Let's say this is a resume for, I don't know, resumes. Let's use which position do I want to apply? Okay, for a banker. Let's just say for a banker. So let's say I like to type. Can you all see my screen? At least I'm browsing something. So career summary for a banker. It should show action. You must not pick one from from Google. You can tweak it to become you. Let it showcase your strength. Let it showcase who you are. That's what it should be. So career summary for a banker, professional banker resume. Mm, I'm just going to pick the first one I see online so that we don't waste time. but I'm looking for something that is actionable, something that can highlight skills and show good whatever, good good skills or good ability to do the job. I have some I kept, but I just want to do this again. Okay, let me see if there's any message. Okay. 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 So also remember that if you're applying for an entry level position, you may not have any experience, but you have a skill. Well, you have a skill. So you can just, tweak your skills to showcase yourself. Okay, let's use this. Sorry, remember to remove it from bold. It's only for the headers. So remember 10 to 12. So I'm going to use 11. So, a resourceful individual with proven track record in implementing successful marketing strategies, boosting organic traffic, and improving ranking six search ranking. You see, that's what you need to read. See, okay, six opposition of a marketing associate at ABC company to maximize brand awareness and revenue. This is more like an entry level career summary because you don't have any experience, but you have skills. So if you have experience, let it showcase your experience. Then the next thing you need to do after this, you have the option of either going straight to your experience or straight into your skills. I like to highlight my experience before my skills. That's because I've worked. So if you've not worked before, you can highlight your skills before your experience. Either way is fine. There is no hard or fast rule to it. It's pretty easy to actually create a resume once you've gotten the whole idea of what it is. So remember to this is experience. So your experience. Now, remember, I said the name of the organization. So I'm going to call this ABC company. I like to put my date towards the right hand side. So I'm just going to press my tab. And then remember, it is your month. So I'm just going to put January. January. Let me not get misspell. Thank you. 2019 to current. It must be on one line. Then you put the name or your position, whatever it is. Let me just call it marketing associate. It's also good if you want, you can highlight your the company you worked for and whatever. Then the next thing you need to do is start to list it. Start to list what you did. Remember, make it actionable. At the same time, I also like to use Google. Now, one important tip is that when you're applying for a job, it's good to read through the jobs that you're applying for and see what are the things they mentioned. Let me go to one of my favorite job sites. Indeed, I'm just going to do only one. Indeed, I'm going to look for a marketing position and see what the employer has requested. So, marketing. Okay, so let's go for Okay, let's use the first one because it has marketing in it. 40K, good. So now they said that they want someone that is has okay. Look at maintaining company social media presence across all digital channels. They also want someone that researching prospects and generate leads, contacting potential and existing customers on the phone, email, and in person. So you need to read through all these job descriptions and tailor your resume to be like like what they asked. They may not put everything there, but the things that they put there are important to them. So let it reflect in your resume as you're writing to them. You may be good at other things, but they didn't ask. They didn't specify those things you were good at. So showcase the skills that you are good at that they asked for in their job description. So if I was going to apply for this job, one of the things I'm going to use is this part. I like this. It seems very basic, but then you can copy and paste and then you say change this from planning to planned. So in my previous job, I planned digital marketing campaigns, including web SEOs, SM, and email, social media, and displayed advertising. So this planned right now, you can see that it is actionable. And that is all. Just make your job description actionable. Another way I do is that I just search online job duties. One of my favorite sites is Job Heroes. Job duties of a marketing associate, or whatever job they're recruiting for. And let me go. So where's my favorite people? They're no more at the top again. All right, let me just okay, let's just use the one that they wrote here, although it's not very good to me. So even if you copy it online, remember to change present tense to verb to action to showcase that you did those things. So you communicated, not communicating, or you won't put I communicated. So you say communicated with clients and maintained good relations with them. You must not copy verbatim word for word. So remember, you can also continue XYZ, just and then you can also continue the same thing too. Let it show action. So let me just do one more position. Maybe I'll call this XYZ company. And I worked from July 20, let me say 16 to December December 2018. Now you can start at December 2018 is January 2019. So also be watchful with your dates as you do that. And then probably you were a marketing intern. Sorry, my baby is crying. Okay, so the same thing, you can also check online, put 4 bullet points for each job description. First job, uh, second, and it goes on to the fourth. And so now, next thing you're going to go with is your skills. Please, if you have any questions, please drop in the chat box and I will respond. Then the next thing after this is your skills. So now you need to know what are the skills that are relevant to your job description. Don't put a skill that is not relevant to your job description. Nobody wants to know if Please don't even put your hobbies. Nobody wants to know if you are a good swimmer. You're not going to swim on the job. I once heard a joke of it was raining, and of course, Nigerian, it was flood. It was already flooded. The area was flooded, and the guy texted his boss and said, I won't be able to come to work. Why? Because there's flood and I can't go out. Oh, the boss now said, okay, but you wrote that you were a good swimmer in your resume, and of course, so start swimming and come to work. So you don't want to put that kind of thing, please, in your resume. Don't even. It's not a job. It's not a skill. You said you're applying for the Navy. It's not really a skill, and it's not something that is needed. So put skills that highlight, that show your strength, that you can say this. So there are soft skills and there are hard skills. So you need to identify which of them is which. So you can say good communication, sorry, communication skills. You can also write digital marketing. Now those are hard skills already. You're going hard skill. Digital marketing. Then you can also, showcase yourself. Be, how do I call it, brag. Talk about yourself. If nobody praises you, praise yourself. That kind of thing. You know. You can also say the very popular one that most people use is proficient in Microsoft Office packages and Google Suite. So the list goes on and on and on, and you can just, at least don't flood their HTML and CSS for web development. Don't put 100 skills. Just keep it at the barest minimum, at least, 5 to 10, I would say is okay. And then you can now list your education. You can now list your education. Remember, you only start with your diploma and then you list your dates. So I'm just going to do only a diploma and I'm going to do a BSc. So you're going to start with your BSc, which you start with your most recent. That's the most recent degree that you got. So I'm just going to start with BSc. Um, then you put the name of your school and the year. So I'm just going to put the year. The year you finished was, let's say, I think I was having a spelling problem today. August 2016. And the school you finished from was, let's say, how many schools do we have in Nigeria? Okay, let me just say University of Ibadan. University of Ibadan. And then you go the next one, diploma or anyone, diploma in whatever um thing you want to say, office management. And the year you finished, probably you can say July 2012. And then the name of the school is, I don't know, let's just put name of school. So that's how you move on. And then diploma is the least. Don't put secondary school, don't put anything. Now, if you've had other qualifications, like maybe you got a certificate or something, you're going to come under education and put certificates and, yeah, certificates and awards. And that's it. And then the next one is, remember, only your reference available upon request. And yes, that is all for your resume. There are no other important, nothing more to add in a resume. Remember to save it as a PDF. You can see this is just a 2 page. Your resume should be 2 pages and then you are done. Once you create your resume, it's very easy for you to create a LinkedIn account. So I already shared this link with everyone. So this is saved. You can always come in, share it with your friends. Let them just use this format and create their resume and start applying for a job. Now, for the LinkedIn is very simple. Once you have your resume, it's it's very easy for you to create a LinkedIn account. And this thing takes you straight to LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network. It's instead of you giving people your CV and saying, please, help me and submit my CV for this job. No, you can actually send emails to or messages to employers and tell them, okay, these are my skills. Already, your LinkedIn profile already has those things you're good at. It's a community of people that are actually doing something. So you can also be part of that community and also take control of your life or your career. So the world's largest professional network, you can find job internships, you can connect with employers, you can strengthen professional relationship, so many things. You can just be yourself on LinkedIn. Don't be who you want and want someone to address you by. So yeah, that's the whole beauty of LinkedIn. And actually, the good thing is, actually, I'm a living testimony of LinkedIn. Actually, got my job, my current job, yeah, our WAAW Foundation, via LinkedIn. I always tell people via LinkedIn. I saw an opening, and I'm someone that likes to Google. I just posted like some days ago, and I'm like, okay, Googling is actually an underrated skill. To be able to Google something and actually get the answer you want is really, really underrated. So I can actually Google for Africa. I search things even when it's not necessary on Google, and that's how I came across. Okay, I had more foundations. Okay, and I went to quote unquote stalk um the CEO. And of course, I got the job via LinkedIn, sent her a message, connected me with the COO, and that's how I started working at One Foundation. So it could be you tomorrow. So just, take that bold step. Nobody's going to kill you for trying. So take that bold step and send a message to an employer. Let them know who you are and what your strengths are. You will get disappointed. Yes, there may be some setbacks, but the beauty of all this is that definitely out of 100 at least one should reply, even if it's just wait now or no, we don't need you, or you could improve yourself better. Take that means for improvement and run with it. So I think that brings me to the end. I don't know if there are any questions. I'm happy to respond. I think I will unmute everyone now, and then you can unmute yourself if you want to talk. Is there any question before we close up? We have 5 minutes. Is there anything that is not clear? Okay. Okay. Toshka, feel free to unmute yourself. Let me understand.
Okay, thank you. I was asking if it is really necessary to follow that format that you showed us.
Okay, so which particular part in the format? That's what I want to know. Which
I
particular?
mean the resume format, or anyone can write whatever, like however he wants.
Okay, you must not follow that format. What I would say is there are some things that should not change in a resume. First of all, you don't want to change your name. That contact information part should always be there. That format stays. The career summary part stays. The experience, the employer, the date, it stays. The actionable one, except if you don't want to get that job, it should also stay. So, however you want to put it, I would say your contact information and your career summary should be the first two things. Then after that, the third thing, you can either choose to put your education as the third thing or your skills as the third one, or your education, depending on how strong your education is. You can put that to sell yourself. So those three things, your skills, your experience, your education, you can either choose to put either one third, fourth, or fifth.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Any other question? Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for your time and for taking time to listen. I really appreciate. Let me see. I think that question. Okay, I'm happy that you actually got to learn from this matter. So thank you for taking the time of your busy schedule to learn something that will benefit you, even as you most of your students still. So as you go out and you meet people, you want people to know that at least you're able to present yourself on a written paper. So thank you for taking the time and do have a wonderful weekend and evening. Bye.